Oh, well, it's Monday morning. I gotta get ready to leave and go to Perth soon to make another payment on my truck repairs. Gotta pay for them truck repairs. I do. Um, yeah. Anyway, what else can I say? Um, I was thinking of something. It's last night's conversations about pulling the camper ahead and some of the concerns I have about doing that and figuring out how to do it safely, which I still don't quite know how we're going to do it safely, but it brought to mind a situation I encountered back when I worked for the auctioneer. Now, this guy was a real con artist, and he'd throw you under the bus very quickly, and not think twice about it. There wasn't a whole lot of loyalty there anyway. And I guess that's how it goes. But anyway, I'm going to tell you this story anyway. We had a camper there. It was a fairly big camper that my boss had gotten. I don't know where he got it, but he got it somewhere anyway. And we were using it to sell tools out of, because we had a flea market in the auction hall for a while. Anyway, we had this camper parked outside, and we were using it to store any tools that we got, and that was kind of like the tool showroom then for any tools that we had that came in from various estates and so on that my boss would buy out. Because somebody would die or give up housekeeping or whatever, and my boss would go in and buy everything. Anyway, you'd buy the contents of the house and the outbuildings and stuff. So we ended up oftentimes with tools. So this was going to be a dedicated place for the tools. Well, one day I come to work, and my boss instructs me to move all the tools in this camper, in this trailer, from the back to the front. He wants everything in the front of the trailer, in the front portion of it. And he wants the back cleared out because he was going to do something. I can't remember what now, but he had some plans for the back of it, and he wanted the space opened up. Well, when he told me that, I said, well, that will cause an uneven distribution of weight, and it's liable to fall off its blocks. He had it up on blocks. I said it's liable to fall off its blocks because it'll cause an uneven distribution of weight, which wouldn't be good. And he told me that I shouldn't be challenging him as far as how he had put the trailer up or whatever, that he knew what he was doing, and that I needed just to do what he told me to do, and not to be questioning him. So, I mean, he was right. He was the boss, and if he wanted me to do that, then it really wasn't for me to question him. It was inappropriate of me to question him. So I just went ahead and did as he told me, even though I had some misgivings about it. I thought, well, it's his camper. They're his tools. He's the boss. I work for him. He tells me to do this. I do it. So I moved all the tools from the back of the camper into the front room of the camper. The whole while expecting the thing to collapse, but it didn't. And I left there that evening thinking, well, maybe he was right. It seems like that's Rocky making noises there in his box. It seems like he's right anyway. It didn't collapse. I think it would have when I was moving the stuff ahead, but it didn't. So all right, yeah, he was right. Nothing bad happened. Well, about an hour after I got home from work, I get an angry text message from my boss. The camper had just collapsed. It had just come off its blocks, and the whole front of the camper slammed into the ground, and it actually twisted the camper, and it tore the roof open. Pretty much destroyed the camper. And So it was an angry text message telling me that this was a result of my incompetence. I had done this, saying, why the hell is my camper now on the ground and all smashed up, and it's because of your incompetence, basically, is what it is. So I reminded him of the conversation we had had that morning, and then I didn't hear any more about it anyway. The subject was closed at that point, I guess. But, yeah. Anyway, just one of the wonderful adventures, anyway, that we had, Yep, it was fun. Anyway, yeah, that's just one thing. There was a bunch of stuff like that happened. Um, you know. And yeah, we used to get yelled at sometimes, and well, sometimes we deserved it, but sometimes it was actually their screw up, but we had to take responsibility. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. I don't work there anymore, so it's in the past, that's all. But it's just one of the stories that this situation with the camper here kind of brought that to mind anyway. Now that was a little different because all the weight of everything in there, and there was a lot of weight, there was a lot of tools in there. And tools tend to be kind of heavy. A lot of tools are very heavy. And it all ended up in the front, so it caused an unbalance of weight, like I had said that morning. And it basically took the camper off its blocks that it was on, and it slammed into the ground with all that weight. And of course, I think the weight was probably at least half of the reason that the camper twisted like it did and tore open. Now that won't be the situation with this camper. It could still do some damage. I'm hoping it doesn't, but it could. I mean, and that is a concern of mine. But there may be a way to do it safely so that doesn't happen. I just don't know how. That's the thing. And I don't think the property owner here knows how either, because he brought that up. And, so it's a bit of a mess anyway. I understand, though, about not wanting to try to move it with the bearings seized or something. And they could be. I don't know. I mean, look, it rolled in here nearly 3 years ago. The wheels were turning good then. But see, the previous owner had been towing it around. He'd been using it. And so, of course, if you're using it, then that keeps things moving. It keeps things from seizing up. But since it's been here, it hasn't moved. It got parked here in September of 2021, and it hasn't moved since. So we're going on, 2.5 years that it's been sitting in one spot. And of course, bearings can seize up practically overnight. Bearings can seize up very quickly. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. I don't know what we're going to do just yet. I don't know how we're going to do it safely. But we'll have to figure it out anyway. I would think about bringing my truck back here and trying to move it, because I do have the ability to put a hitch on my truck, but I don't have the hitch and whatnot. I don't have the other things that I would need to do it. I just have the infrastructure to accommodate it. That's all. Anyway, that's it for now. I reckon we'll see you all later. Rocky, there's some chicken. Rocky's asleep there on his pillow. He is. He's asleep on his pillow there. All right. Bye for now.